Destinée finds Aya Coco Nakamura continuing to refine a sound that makes her a global force in modern francophone pop. Coming off the success of earlier projects, she leans even further into melodic, catchy songwriting while staying rooted in Afro beats, R&B, and contemporary French urban music. The album feels like a snapshot of Aya in motion. It's confident, flirtatious, emotionally grounded, but always in control of her narrative. There's no reinvention happening here. It is the sharpened sound of somebody who is curated and has a signature of her own and is blending it in these chants, these hooks, infectious rhythms, all delivered in these conversational style lyrics. The production across Destiny is sleek and highly polished. It's built for repeat plays and playlists, which would be my one kind of gripe with the project. It is 18 tracks of it. It kind of comes across as 18 tracks of singles, right? And I've been harping about promoting albums and the beauty of albums and the project of creating an entire body of work that's like a complete meal. You know, you got your vegetables, you got your fruit, you know, you got your sides, you got your mains and all that stuff. Whereas singles is just like candy. It's a bunch of candy. So there's a lot of candy on here. I'll give you that. But it's also fun. It's also Aya and confident that, you know, I can forgive it and say like if this would be an Aya playlist, this would be like a great Aya playlist. The production across this thing is going to be mid-tempo Afro beat, Afro pop type of grooves, syncopated percussions, and bouncy drum patterns that keep everything moving without ever feeling rushed. The melodies and the harmonies are simple but effective. These chords you get these progressions that leave plenty of room for Aya's vocal lines, which often sit right between singing and rapping. A perfect example of this is the closing track, Kuma, which is this. I mean, she almost sounds like a mix of. She's a French version of SZA and Meg The Stallion, almost. So it's almost like I mean, like sometimes like is she could be rapping really when it comes when, but you know the new pop, rap, R and B, what do they call that stuff? The contemporary is it contemporary? They call it contemporary R and B. That style almost leans really a lot like hip hop, and it's of course across the pond there. The sound palette you hear is a blend of warm synths, bright plucks, understated guitars. The energy is depth. With you know you got some occasional piano. The sound palette across this project, you will hear a blend of warm synths, um, bright plucks, understated guitars, an occasional piano here and there. Nothing feels overcrowded. Arrangements are tight and efficient, but they're made and mixed to make sure that the vocals is what is center stage. And in these vocals, the ad libs are layered. There's harmonies throughout, adding energy and depth. The use of auto tune is just for mostly aesthetic. It's nothing is done. No auto tune is used that sounds like it's for corrective, right? It's for corrective message, more for like reinforcing the modern sound of what pop music is globally at this point, right? Just to give it that modern feel. But she can sing, right? So trust that. Overall, the production is laser focused on catchiness and replay value. It may not be experimental in a traditional sense, but it is extremely effective at delivering banger after banger. It's a track list, like I said, of singles. Pretty much, it feels like a lot of earworms, you know, hooks on there. There's a lot of stuff is danceable. No stress is one that you should check out. This is the I think this was the lead single off this thing. It's the second track on the project. It's highly energetic, Massive hooks, crisp drums, the kind of track that you immediately recognize as classic Aya. It was released shortly before the album dropped. She's flirting with some my piano sounds here. Of course, is Caribbean rooted rhythms, bringing a fresh, danceable energy. And yes, there's a visual. So check out the video for that one. There's a lot of melanin just popping in that joy. It's a beautiful video. You got some dance moves in there. Her dance moves are pretty subdued. So I don't know how much. I mean, it's so wild because we don't. I mean, in pop music, we expect pop artists to have dance moves. I don't. This is wild that we expect them to sing and dance, right? But I mean, you know, the old school artists did all of that stuff. We think about the Rat Pack, right, and all of these guys. Like you think about shoot, what's the name? I forgot her name, but she used to dance with Frank Sinatra. But like she was like, yeah, I did everything. Not Frank Sinatra. Damn, who she danced with? Fred Astaire, right? Was it Abbott and Costello? Who am I thinking of here? The phrase is Ginger Rogers. What did I say? I don't know what I said. The phrase is Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire. That was right. Fred Astaire did except backwards and in heels, right? Um, and these people are performing, they're singing, and I don't know how much she does, and so she's trying. She's trying her best, and it works enough for the video. But I know like Beyonce, for example, goes crazy, right? Well, that's a big part of her thing. But you're not gonna see Adele dancing because she's just like, I'm a singer. I'm gonna stick to that, right? She might do a choreograph, might turn her here and like move left to right, kind of thing like that. But like, at some point we need it. I mean, who you really gotta blame about this stuff is like cats like freaking James Brown, Michael Jackson. You got to blame these folks for like, it's standard. Elvis, it's standard that you dance when you sing, and you got to make it happen, right? But across all these tracks, the through line is Aya's presence. It's charismatic, it's sharp, and always at the center is the vocals. The my favorite track on here, I told this to my brother. I shared this with my brother. He wasn't feeling it as much as I would. Is Baddies. Joey Duet Fillets on this. It's the second to last track on this thing. This is the first single that actually came off the album. Of course, it's compa up in that joint. You got Joey on that thing. It's Afro inspired. It's a club ready song. It's ready for the summer. Although this project came out, when this joint came out, this one came out last week. So it's ready for next summer, I guess. But it's slightly rhythmic. It's slightly different in the rhythm from what you've been getting from the rest of the project. There's another song on here that I can't recall right now that came across as like, oh, this might be a little compa adjacent. But this one is a breath of fresh air, and I love that it's leaning into the compa, which is the Haitian roots. Shout out to Haiti and Joey on this project, and he is doing big things, and being able. I mean, Aya is huge. She's won all kinds of awards, gone all kinds of platinum and stuff like that on the French charts and stuff. She, like I said, she is pretty much their SZA, or pretty much their SZA. I guess I would say, with a mix of like Meg Thee Stallion here and there on some of the tracks that sound like she's kind of rapping a little bit, but like she's huge, and like Joey is man, he is doing great with his career, and and you love to see it. And again, I love seeing features like this because it gives like that validation, right? So we featured Joey on a previous episode. Like, man, check the catalog. I be telling y'all, I got some stuff, got some gems on the playlist. I got some gems on the catalog. Go check out his project. But to have him featured here, and knowing that Aya is co-signing that is freaking dope and amazing. The only thing is, I wish Baddies came up earlier in the album. It's the second to last track. Now Kuma is the last track on here, which is dope. It's a nice closer, and it doesn't have as much plays as, let's see, shoot, dang. Actually, Baddies is the number one song off the, well, it was a single. So these singles, man, and they get the numbers up, and so now the whole album goes double platinum or platinum because of Baddies. And but Baddies is that dope. Baddies is dope on there. No, this is the second to last track on there, and I wish it came earlier on the album and switch up the tempo a little bit, to switch up the rhythm and the vibes a little bit earlier on the album. Then we can get to the rest of the project. But either way, Destiny reinforces Aya's status as one of the most reliable hit makers in the contemporary French pop scene. It is not an album built around a big concept statement. Like I said, it's a bunch of singles, really, that are just enjoyable. You don't really have to think too deeply of what she's got going on here, but it's built around this tightly curated vibe of dancing and no stress. That's track No Stress. Second track, like I said, is on this thing. It's no stress. It's infectious. It's confident. If you come to Aya for strong hooks, quotable lyrics, rhythm driven production, this album delivers exactly that. It is the kind of project that works both in the background and at full volume.